Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Frankie B, and it is a steamy morning here. It's like 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, and it looks like I'm back on the artwork. First off, I just want to thank you for coming on by and checking out the artwork that I'm about to do. This is it's been a little minute since I've done a video, just because my workload has intensified. As I've said in pretty much a big chunk of my videos is that I'm a commercial illustrator or freelance artist, and that's my trade. I draw for a living. I make my money drawing, and so that's my focus. I have to focus on that. I can't do tons of videos because that's not the apex of my career, doing videos and being a personality. So, and you know what, I enjoy that because that's what I went to school for. I went to school to be an artist, to create art, and to keep it flowing. So with that said, this piece right here is the second part of a commission that the Global Frequency, and let me just say that the Global Frequency, what a great branding name. Oh man, what a fantastic name. They're doing this comic book. I don't know if it's going to be a series. I'm assuming it is, but they have a crowdfunding campaign going on for Indiegogo, and they have this comic book. Was it Mavericks? Yeah, Mavericks, and I think it's volume one. And these are these Mav units. So anyway, I was commissioned earlier to do for the reward tier 4 sketch cards, and I ended up doing a 4 card sketch card commission, full color. And then the second part of that commission was they came back and they commissioned me, said, well, can you do a A4? A4 is actually a little different than the size of like an 8.5 by 11 regular, like for us here in America, paper that you use, copy paper. Think of it like that term, 8.5 by 11. A4 is actually 8.25 by 11 3/4 size. So, roughly, just minor little differences to it. So anyway, they said, hey, look, we want to commission you to do a black and white piece of artwork, featuring this character, which is they created pizza. Let me just say pizza, pizza Mav. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying pizza. God dang, it's early. Oh man. The Pizza Math, and it's based off of, and it has Peter Samedi, who is actually a Mav operator for this particular unit. So it was fun. They actually sent me the concept art, which was fantastic, and then I just added my own little flavor how I would approach drawing this kind of character. And so what you see before you is the pencils, and yeah, so pretty much this is going to be the inking of it, and it should be a lot of fun. Now this is going to be, as my previous videos, a mashup video, just me just talking a little bit right now, because I know you love my voice. And then I'll transition over to hyperlapse just to speed it up and stuff, and add some music to it and stuff. So yeah, it's been super busy, which is fantastic. One of the big things that's been really keeping me active has been working on the first issue of Kajus and Cowboys. I can't tell you how jazzed I am working on those pages. Back in 2013, I was working a graphic novel that me and James Biggie worked, that we co-created, called Robot God Akamatsu. We came out like, we got picked up by a publisher, and that publisher ended taking the books, which technically, when I think about it, roughly was like 6 issues. If we had did floppies, it would have been like 6 issues, but they comprised it into a graphic novel, and black and white inside, with great tone, and we came out like people loved it. It was one of those amazing things, but unfortunately, it didn't continue. Unfortunately, things got in the way, life got in the way, and we weren't able to keep the momentum going forward. So Robot God Akamasu is one of those things that is kind of out there. There are fans still of it. I still get people occasionally asking me about it and stuff like that, but at this point, most unlikely that you'd ever see the light of day again, like any new stuff. But you know, I don't know. It's just crazy. But for now, a lot of my energy is on kaijus and cowboys. I'm finding that energy again that I had back in 2013 working on Robogaz Akama, excuse me, 2012 actually, when I was working on Robogaz Akamatsu and the joys of it and stuff like that. So with that said, let's get down to the some inking. Now the tools I'm using today, this is like a water brush pen, excuse me. And what I did was I filled it with ink, and I have a couple of different heads, but I tend to like this one. This one's like a standard head that I like using. I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be using my Micron, going possibly between, I don't know if I'll be going between the 003 and the 001, excuse me, 01, but we'll see. It, you know, it always fluctuates and stuff, you know, whatever the mood is. And then I have some Copics over here as well, and then of course my trusty kneaded eraser. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to knock out some of this pen, because I went a little heavy-handed on the pencil. I use a standard Papermate. What is it? Papermate. They're just replaceable pencils, you know. Not too big, nice soft lead. But I went a little dark on it just because for this scenario I wanted the client, who is the global frequency, to be able to see everything. So when I printed it up, it wouldn't, you know, nothing would be, you know, misconstrued or anything like that. I wanted to be able to see it, and it just looks good, you know. I can say that the last couple of years I've been really getting back into my pencil work and ensuring that that I focus a lot of energy on pencils. When I was doing a lot of advertising work, storyboard stuff like that, I sort of got away from it. It was all about like really speed, like, you know, cranking out stuff, you know, getting it done, because in most cases, you know, you didn't have months or whatever to work on something. You had like literally, it could be down to hours or a day or so, and you had to crank out a ton of stuff super fast. So ideally you just want to pump out stuff fast as possible. Still got to look good, but not to the level of what I'm doing here. Yeah, so I'm just knocking it back a little bit. All right, I gotta say right now, I am like sweating like a pig, because it's just so humid, and all I got is my little fan. You know, no AC in this room, unfortunately. So, with that said, I got some napkins so that I can lay my hand down, and also I got paper too, so that I can actually, let me break out my black paper. This is so like a black paper that I use so I can sort of have on arm. I don't want to have to rely on it too much because I just don't want smudging or whatever, but just in case, I got that on the side. So let's see where we're at in minutes of me jacking up. Not too bad. So, oh man, yeah, a lot of stuff is gonna be going on. As you can imagine, as a commercial illustrator or freelance artist, you know, I'm not working on just one project. I'm working on various different projects that come across my board. Some have been projects that have been, you know, in the long running, and then, you know, and then finally they, you know, at some point somebody comes and says, okay, I'm ready to start on it, Frank. And then others are just, sometimes they're newer ones, you know. And so while that's going on, I'm working on a comic book, which to anybody out there that is working on comic books, they can tell you it's definitely a tedious but rewarding job, you know, to work on. So if you work on comic books, you get an understanding that, you know, you have to be so mindful of your time, you know. I'll tell any new comic book creators out there, I don't think you need to kill yourself. I'm not in that belief that, especially someone, I've been around in the industry for a long time, and you know, when I was younger, yeah, I did crazy hours and whatever, and I don't know. I'm just glad that I made it this far. I'll be turning 51 in a few weeks and stuff, and I'm just blessed and happy that I'm able to make it to that another milestone in my life story. So the thing is that you just have to be mindful of it, mindful of your time, and always remember that this is about the product, the end result. That means production. I am a huge like hardcore when it comes to production, because that's what I've done. I've worked in production for years, you know, behind the scenes, and ensuring that what I'm working on is going to be looking, you know, 100 to 200% if possible. you know. So, you know, I want to feel good that whatever I've worked on, when it's put out there, I can at least be like, okay, I feel good about it. Even if people, whatever the feeling toward it may be, I want to be able to say, look, I gave everything I had on it. You know, I can't say that if I'm giving like, you know, 50% on the art and then 50% to videotaping and stuff like that. Even though videotaping and doing videos is not my main forte, you know. Videos, in my mind, the videos are like 10% at most, and then 90% is really to the art. That's my strength. That's what I'm good at, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I care about the end result of the product. I want the product to be amazing, and that's how it is. You know, you think about advertising. Think about when you go to a store and stuff, and you buy that thing that you want. You know, would you want the people creating or working on that thing to be like, oh, we're just going to give 50% to this, 50% to that? No, you want your product to be, you want at least 90% devoted. Usually what happens is that in many cases with companies and stuff, or products that you really like, even when I say products, say like merch or toys and whatever, those action figures you love, you know, they have departments. So it's like you have the production, and production they devote 100%. You don't see production online in most cases, talking and videos and stuff like that. It's usually they'll have somebody who specializes in that, and then they'll be putting their 100% toward the marketing or promotion of whatever the said product is going to be. And that would be fantastic, you know. But you know, and again, I treat my videos, they're like my online portfolio for people who might be interested, who are thinking about a career in art. You know, just my words are not to be used in the sense of tutorial, but more in the sense of, you know, hopefully inspiring someone to go down this path, but also being a voice of reason and reality, you know, because I want to see the next generation of artists get out there, you know, and do their thing. Now, a lot of this is going to be, I'm going to freehand a lot of this stuff. That comes with just, you know, the confidence and time and experience, you know. It's a really cool character, man. Global Frequency, they're really doing really good. I know. Hopefully, I'll have the link for their campaign in there when I post this. But man, they're doing really good, and I'm very happy. I'm just happy to see again projects that are in the genre that I really enjoy, and many others do, just doing really well. It just shows you that there is a market for it, and that's always refreshing. As well as, you know, horror and superheroes and so on and so forth, sci-fi, you know. But it has to be done well. I think that's the key thing. It has to be done well. Like artists that are working on these projects, they need the time to work on this stuff. They need to work on it. They need to make sure that everything is looking good, and then whoever is working on their who's doing their marketing and stuff like that, then they have to focus their energies on that and showing that when the time comes that there's going to be people for the product. And I think that's important. Everyone has a job. I don't think one person has to do all the jobs. They shouldn't have to bear the weight of doing all the work. You should be able to, you know, divvy it up a little bit so that no one's getting stressed out and stuff like that. I think sometimes, unfortunately, people get taxed out, and then that's why you see people just kind of, you know, they may just say, they throw their hands up and go, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. Oh, yeah. That fell. Let me actually stand that up. Keep the ink nice and dry on it. So, yeah, this is a pretty cool. Now, the reason why I'm going a little freehand, now when I was doing some of this, I actually was ruling it out. But I'm going freehand because I kind of like the idea that it looks like it's been in battle. You know? So the metal is kind of like beaten up a little bit, you know? That's my thought. I'm thinking of this character. This character is, I'm telling my story, like what's been going on with this character. Now, one thing, and I'll point it out here before I go on to the hyperlapse, is that if you look on here, I really made sure to say that, and this is very important, I think, for any person out there doing it. It says after Super Valkyrie VF1J model box art, because that's what the Global Frequency, when they contacted me, they had a reference of what they wanted it to look like. And I think it's important that that people get to that they're acknowledged that this wasn't something that I didn't create this layout, out of my head. It was something that they suggested and I just follow. So I think it's important that when you do stuff like that, that you note that, because it's important. You don't want to, what I call, get false praise for doing something that you really didn't, create. And creating a layout like this is something that was created by someone else. And all I did was I just sort of took my own interpretation on it, changed it up. But, that's just something to be acknowledging about. I try to tell young artists out there, yeah, it's all about, it doesn't take away from the fact that you're drawing the piece. So it is your piece, but, you don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I just don't say anything. So there you go, draw little lines in there. So you get an indication that there's flame and stuff. You can still see little pods of it in there, huh? Yeah, love that. Love the Kirby crackle with the flames in there. All right, let's see where we're at. All right, so we're at the 16-minute mark. And so with that said, I'm going to switch this over to hyperlapse. Now, again, I just want to thank you for coming along and hanging out and checking this out. And as always, thank you for coming to my channel. And please feel free to comment. I love comments. I will definitely respond to you. And as always, keep that creativity strong and the art flowing. Peace.